Everybody wants to look amazing, but even the most experienced sometimes make mistakes, and when it comes to style, ignoring some easy style tips can really mess up the image you want to project. Following certain style tips is all you need to do to avoid making those mistakes and make sure you always look sharp. Which rules are you talking about? You may ask. Well, let's start with an advanced one. Style tip number 1, suits and buttons. I'm not going to get technical. It's rather simple when you really think about it. If you're wearing a suit with only one button, it must be fastened whenever you're standing and must be unfastened when you're seated. Let's add one more button below. This second button should never be fastened. On 2-button suits, you must button only the top one whenever you're standing, and unbutton it when you're seated. The lower button should always be left undone. Let's now add one more button, above the first one. This button is optional. It can be treated as the middle one, or it can be always left unfastened. I know it's a pain in the ass, but I didn't make that rule. Style tip number 2, your clothes should fit you like a glove. There is nothing worse than looking like you borrow clothes from your 40 pounds larger father, or even worse like you borrow them from your little brother. Don't look like that. Find the right fit for you. You want your clothes to be snug enough to feel comfortable, but not to look like a sausage. Try out different sizes, you'll know when you find the right one. Style tip number 3, never wear dirty shoes. I'm not going to spend much time on this one. It's pretty self-explanatory. Keep your shoes clean. Please. Number 4, undershirt rule. If you're a man who sweats a lot, and you have trouble with sweat marks, especially on your armpits, start wearing an undershirt. There's only one undershirt rule I go by. It should never be visible. You don't want your undershirt to pop out beneath a shirt, you don't want to have visible undershirt marks. But how to keep it hidden, you may ask. Find a light, tight undershirt with a deep V-neck. That way marks on your biceps will not be visible because it's skin tight. And if you like to keep 1 or 2 buttons on your shirt undone, nobody will notice your little sweating problem solver. Number 5, match leathers. I know that a lot of men have a hard time matching anything when it comes to clothes, but don't worry. It's not hard, at all, I promise. Matching your shoes and your belt is really important if you want to look stylish, and a general rule is the more contrast there is between your shoes and your belt, the less stylish you look. Let's say that you've got black shoes. The most obvious color choice for a belt would be black, of course. It's easy. Brown shoes, on the other hand, can be a little bit harder to match, because it's not enough to just go for the brown belt. If you've got dark brown shoes, you'll have to find the belt in similar color tone. It doesn't have to be the exact same tone, but the closer it is the better. If you want to make sure you really look awesome, another tip is to apply the same rule when you choose the watch strap. Match it with your belt and shoes and you'll look fabulous. Now, of course, this is not something you should be doing on every single occasion. Like every other rule, there are some ways around it, and in some cases bending it can look pretty cool. But, my friendly advice is, if you ever want to bend this rule, don't do that with formal outfits. Number 6, stop wearing wrinkled clothes. Honestly, it's even worse than dirty shoes. This is one of the most important style tips out there. Please don't go for the homeless look. Iron your clothes. Any excuse less convincing than "I've just survived an avalanche" just won't do. If you're not particularly skilled with an iron, buy a good steamer. It will make your life much easier. Number 7, always have a fresh haircut. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to visit barbershop twice a month, although it would be ideal to do so. This just means that you shouldn't let your hairstyle get unnecessarily messy. If you can't or don't want to get a fresh haircut every 2 to 3 weeks, there's a perfect solution. Get yourself a good trimmer. Clean up your neckline, trim sideburns, and any hair that gets long around your ears. It's the perfect way to make your hairstyle last way longer. Another thing you can do is choose a haircut that doesn't require visiting barber twice a month. If your go-to hairstyle is undercut or fade, then you really need to manage it in order to look good. But, if you want to avoid having to worry about your hair getting out of control, choose a hairstyle with longer sides. Number 8, Stop overcomplicating things. I also had trouble trying to overcome this particular problem. This is a very bad habit. You don't have to stress about making every single outfit look perfect. Start out with simple ones. Once you master simple outfits, matching together patterns and some more advanced colors and pieces will come naturally. Number 9. Know your style. Set a goal. Find celebrity fashion role model. Study their outfits. Tell yourself that's how I want to look and work towards that goal. Find your personal style, and develop it, nurture it, and soon enough it will start working in your favor. Following these simple style tips is a guaranteed way to improve your style and make sure your image works in your favor. The toughest one for me to follow is definitely number 8. I've had a lot of struggle with that one. Which one of these gave you the most trouble? Let me know.